A rabbit population oscillates 15 above and below average during the year, reaching the lowest value in January. The average population starts at 650 rabbits and increases by 110 each year. Find a function that models the population. The biggest mistake that I made when I did this problem with you guys is when I saw the word oscillates, I was thinking harmonic motion. And that's nothing to do with this. Mostly due to the fact that I was reasoning through it, maybe forcing it by thinking that there was some sort of, outside influence, but there is no outside influence here. There's nothing that's keeping this thing going, or at least there's nothing here that explains also that it's going to diminish over time. It's going to just keep going over time. In fact, it's going to be the same over time. So this is not a harmonic function. This is just a simple function for sinusoidal. So this is basically what we're looking for. We're looking for f of x, and it's either going to be a sine or cosine function. Well, what exactly is it going to be? This is where things get a little kind of tricky. First of all, our amplitude's pretty simple. It says that it oscillates between 15 above and 15 below the average. And the average population starts right here at 650. Okay. And it also has the lowest value in January. Here's the thing. This is the average. That's not the max. That's not the low. That's the average. What is the max? Well, the max would be up here, which would be 665. And the min would be down here, which is 635. Well, it reached its lowest value in January, and since I'm going to include that this x equals 0 is my January, then my graph is actually starting here. But where does it go from here? Well, okay, that's my January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. Here, excuse me, here's the problem. The average population starts at 650 but increases by 110 each year, which means that I'm going to be next year at 760, which means that I have a new average right here. My average started at 650, but by next year I have a new average, and it's right here. Well, then my midline looks something like this. And that is not a straight line. That is actually it's a linear function. What is that linear function? Well, we can find the slope. That's actually pretty simple to do. That's 760 minus 650. That's 110. And that's going to be divided by its x by its run, which is 12. So my midline is 110 divided by 12. And that's times t. And interestingly enough, that midline is actually could be defined in this way. 110 divided by 12 times t plus 650. Because that's a linear function. So that becomes my midline. And that's a possibility. I suppose, these things can be as complicated as they needed to be. But that defines what my midline is. And so how do I write this down then as a function? I might need some room. So I'm going to start here. F of x is equal to, what's my amplitude? 15. It's a cosine function because I'm starting at the min, not the max or the center. I'm sorry, not the center, but I'm starting at the min, which means this is negative 15. Negative 15 cosine. My period is a standard set of months, so that's going to be pi over 6. No phase shift, so x times pi over 6 plus my midline, which is 650, plus we'll just simplify that to 55 over 6t. This is the function. Whatever I wrote before, it's kind of meaningless. However, something that is noted is that we do have a cosine function looks something similar to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm thinking like right above here. So the cosine function is going to be, let's do the best to my ability. Like that. Now remember, I kind of showed you a function that looked like this going up. If we were to zoom back to like 10, 15 years, yes, that's exactly what that's going to look like. It's going to look like a wavy line that's constantly going up. But my fault was thinking that this was harmonic motion. It's not. This has nothing to do with harmonic motion. It's just a sinusoidal function on a slope. That's really all it is. And I have my function here that describes my sinusoidal function of rabbits on a slope. And they're not asking me for anything else other than that function. So there it is. That is the function that they're looking for. Hopefully that makes sense.